What's going on, guys? It's your girl Sally. So today I decided that I was gonna go ahead and show you guys my basic curl routine. I just got out the shower, so my hair is still nice and saturated. It's pretty wet. So I figured, why not show you guys how I get my curls as big and bouncy and crazy as I do. So today I am gonna be using CurlEssence Moisturizing Curl Activator, and this is what it looks like. So this is what I'm going to be using along with Shea-Pro leave-in moisturizer, which is just pretty much some leave-in conditioner. Those are the two things that I am going to be using today. And so I hope that you guys like this video. I hope you guys comment on this video, and I hope you guys subscribe down below. So first things first, you always want to make sure that you have everything it is that you need on hand. This is what I'm going to be using to part my hair, detangle my hair, and also make sure that I comb the product through and through my hair. You never want to just blob the product onto your hair. You always want to make sure that you distribute it evenly to make sure that all of your bases are covered. Now, I did detangle my hair in the shower, but my hair tangles extremely easily. That's just the way my hair is because of how tight my curls naturally are. So yeah, so you're gonna be seeing me combing a lot. Now, your lines do not have to be perfect. It's not really necessary for it to be perfect. You just want to make sure that you are saturating your whole entire head with whatever product it is that you are using at the time. And I'm just going to pin it down so that it can stay in place so it's out of the way. Now, from that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back and I'm going to part it into two sections, just like this. So this is how it's gonna look. So you have this big one up here, 1, 2, in the back. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just section this side off because I'm not starting with this side. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tie it back so that this hair does not get into the section that I am currently doing. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna start working on this side. So what I always like to do is I like to detangle my hair, make sure that it's not already knotted, like I said, because the type of hair that I have, it tends to knot pretty easily. Comb is going through pretty good. Now, I always highly recommend that you use a wide tooth comb. When you are combing your hair, you can use your fingers. That is honestly better than using a comb. But if you want to use a comb, using a wide tooth comb is going to be your entirely best bet. Anything smaller is just going to damage your curls. So I do have smaller combs. Like I have this comb that I use really only just to get like a really good line. But I don't use it to comb my hair. I also have this one, which is sort of wide, but not necessarily, which again, I use mainly just to make a line when I need it. So those are the two that I also have, which I use primarily for lines, but this is what I use to detangle. The wider, the better, because it is less damaging for your curls. So what I always do is, after I section my hair out, I go back in and then I section each section. I never just take my my product and just glob it onto my hair. I never do that. You're never gonna get your product evenly distributed when you just glob it onto a section and just go. It's just not gonna happen. So what I do is I always keep my spray bottle on hand, my mister, because I always add more water as I go. I like to make sure that my hair is saturated good enough that is gonna help to sink in all of the product that I'm putting in. I'm always constantly adding more water into my hair as I'm putting the product into my hair. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm just gonna go ahead. And then I got my bottle right here. And now I like to do my hair in the bathroom in front of the sink because sometimes I don't feel like using my mister. Sometimes I'll just go ahead and turn on the sink and just put some water into my hand and just distribute it that way. It's the same exact water, is no different. The only difference is that this one is a mister. So I'm gonna go ahead And I usually put about that much into my hand to start off. If I feel like I need more, then I'll go ahead and I'll add more as I go. But I normally don't, because I do my sections small enough to the point where I don't need to continue to add more product. And I'm also doing 2 products today in my hair instead of just 1. And I always start down at the bottom of my hair, and then I work my way up, because that is the best way to make sure, once again, that you are distributing your product evenly, guys. So the bottom of your hair is always going to be a lot drier, a lot more brittle than the top of your hair. So the top of your hair, you're constantly growing your hair out, so there's a lot more moisture up there versus the ends. When you leave your hair out, you know, your ends, it takes all of the damage between heat, which I don't do, combing, everything. So you always want to make sure that you cater to your ends, guys. I personally have not been keeping up on my haircuts, so my ends are starting to get a little split, but I do have some products coming that is going to help take care of my split ends until I am able to get into my beauty technician later back in New York, because I do not know anybody here in North Carolina. So right now I have distributed my curl activator. So, and this is what my hair looks like once I did that. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take just a little bit of my leave-in conditioner. You don't need a whole heaping glop. That's how much I took out. And I'm gonna go ahead, and I always mix my leave-in conditioner with a little bit of water, mix it all together. And if you're shedding hair as you're doing this, that is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with shedding hair. It is 110% natural to shed hair, especially as a curly girl. You are bound to shed hair, guys. Do not let it scare you. Now that sound, that is a good sound. That means that you have enough moisture in your hair. That is very good. So that is just how my sections look. As you can see, my curls are super tight, and even though they're wet right now, you can technically see like how tight they truly are, and they're only gonna get tighter, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna keep on sectioning my hair out and applying product as I go. Like I said, like your product, I mean your parts do not have to be even, guys. There's nothing wrong with your parts not being even. The only thing is that you just want to make sure that you're not making parts that are entirely too big, because if your sections are too big, then you're not evenly distributing the product, and you're gonna have some spots that have more product than others. Some spots might be dry because it didn't get enough product in it. So you always just want to make sure that it's small enough that it makes it easy for you to distribute the product evenly, guys. So I started at my ends, and I'm just working my way up towards my roots. And as you can see, I put a little bit on, and then I go ahead and I finger comb it through. I never just plop it on and leave it as I go. I never do that. I always make sure that I finger comb it, and then after I finger comb it, I also take my wide tooth comb and comb it through again, guys. Now, everybody does their hair differently, you know, everybody uses different products. What works for one person obviously is not going to work for the next person, and that is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that I will say that is important for curly girls is that you always want to make sure, again, that your sections are small enough that it is going to be easy for you to distribute all of your product evenly, guys. Now I have a lot of hair, so it takes me like a good 30, maybe 25 to 30 minutes to go ahead and do my entire head with my product and everything like that. Some people have less hair, some people don't have hair that's just as thick. Some people do just the 3 sections and then they're done, and that's what works for them. What works for one person might not necessarily work for somebody else, but I've found that this is what works better for my particular curls because of how thick my hair is. And my hair, the back of my hair always tends to be a little drier than the front of my hair, so that is also why I tend to add a lot more water to the back of my hair versus the front of my hair. I'm not entirely sure why, my hair is like that, but my hair has always been like that, where the back is a lot drier than the front. As you guys can see, I'm just, and it's okay if your hair is dripping as you go, because when you're completely done doing your hair, you can just squeeze out the excess. And honestly speaking, the wetter your hair is while you are applying your products, the better. That is 100 times better, the wetter it is as you're applying the products. Now, me personally, also, I don't diffuse my hair. I let my hair air dry because it just works. It's what works for me. I don't really like how my curls turn out when I diffuse it. It's not something that's for me. My hair does take forever to dry, but I prefer to air dry it. But I will come back and I will show you guys what my hair looks like once it is dry. And as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm just adding water, especially to the bottom, just to make sure that it is nice and hydrated. And now I'm gonna go in with my leave-in. And the water that I am applying, guys, I am applying lukewarm water. I'm not applying hot water. I'm not applying freezing cold water either. I'm applying lukewarm water to my hair because it's what's best for my hair. You never want to add hot water though, as a woman in general. Hot water is not good for your hair at all. It literally strips your hair of all the moisture and vitamins and good stuff that's in your hair. Never ever ever drench your hair in hot water, guys. I'm just going ahead and I'm just scrunching it on up, and then I'll continue. Now the smaller the section, the less product it is that you're gonna need. Just remember that. Just make sure that it is enough to distribute throughout your entire section. And I never really add any more than that. This particular leave-in conditioner I really like, and I've been using for a while. And I like it because it definitely helps to control my hair frizz-wise, and it also helps to keep all of the moisture into my hair. It leaves my hair nice and bouncy. It doesn't leave it hard. I hate products that leave my hair hard. I'm not necessarily a person who likes crunchy curls. Some people like their curls, you know, with a little crunch to it, and that's fine, but that's not me. I like my hair big and bouncy. The bouncier it is, the better it is. And I've also found day 2 hair is always a lot better than day 1 hair, guys. So if your day 1 hair it ain't sitting right for you, give it a chance. You know, sleep on it with a satin cap. Do not just sleep on it, okay? Pineapple it and put a satin cap on, which I do have a video for that coming soon. And then just look at it the next day. So like, I don't know if you guys can see, but I like my hair, since it's already drying, it's already starting to frizz because I have literally nothing in it. So it is definitely starting to frizz, which is, again, why I always add water to make sure that it is nice and hydrated, because the way my hair is, my hair soaks up moisture. Like, the water, or the product and everything that I put in my hair literally soaks it on up. And I always keep a rag on hand just because I like to dry my hands as I go. Sometimes you'll get way too much product on your hand just from, you know, constantly taking all the different pieces. So I do always just keep a washcloth on hand so I can dry my hands just a little bit. I'm weird like that, don't mind me. Now, as you get to the back, you want to make sure, you know, that you go up, because it is the best way to get all of your product to where it needs to be. My leave-in, putting some water on it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and go from the bottom, from the ends, all the way on up to the roots, guys. And like I said before, although I am finger combing, I'm gonna also run my comb. Okay, so this is gonna be the last piece for my first section. And if you're wondering where I got my mister from, I got my mister from Sally's, and I paid, this is I think a 5-ounce bottle, and I paid about $3 for it. It wasn't entirely expensive. I mean, $3 for this, it can definitely be conceived as expensive, but the bigger bottle was definitely a lot more. But I do know that you can grab that bottle on Amazon, and it might be cheaper. So I might end up going ahead and going onto Amazon and grabbing me a bigger bottle, which will run me a lot less than going into Sally's. So this is my second part. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do my second part. I do it exactly the same way that I did it to the first part. And I'll be back with you guys when I get all the way up here so that you guys can see how I do it, okay? Oops. Reach for the sky. Alright guys, so I am totally done with the back of my hair. This is what it looks like right now. Currently, while it's wet, it's still pretty saturated. But I'm most likely gonna go back in and add more water just because I wanna make sure that the back is saturated enough that when it dries, it doesn't dry looking dry, if that makes sense. But sometimes with my hair personally, I can still get that. And I think it's just because of all the years of blonde that I have put into my hair. It can sometimes look a little, you know, like a new hair. So right now I'm just, before I get to the front of my hair, I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna add some more water all throughout my hair, well, through the back of my hair. Okay. Now that that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and going to show you guys how I do the front of my hair. Now just remember that however you decide to part your hair, make sure that you do it while your hair is still wet, because however your hair dries, that is how it's going to stay. So if you part it in the middle and let it dry in the middle, that's good. If not, like let's say like you want a middle part, but you throw all your hair over to the side and let it dry like that, guys, your middle part is no longer there. Your middle part is bye-bye. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just combing through my hair, making sure that there are no tangles, because you don't want to be putting product in your hair while your hair is knotted or tangled or dry for that matter. And I'm out here, you know, looking like the girl from The Ring. So I don't know if I want a middle part, or I want a side part, or I don't want no part at all. I think I am going to do, I think we just not gonna do no part today. We just gonna let everything land where it lands. So when I do that, what I normally do is I'll just take sections of my hair and just kind of like let it fall where it falls and everything like that. And then once I'm completely done putting the product all throughout my hair, I'll see how I like it. And then if I decide that I want a middle part or a side part, then I'll part it. If not, I'll just let it kind of just land where it lands, because sometimes with curls, your best curl days can be when you let your curls land where they land. Manipulating your hair is not always a good thing, guys. So I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna start right there. And I'm gonna block this off. And now what I'm doing to the front of my hair is literally exactly what I did to the back of my hair. I'm just gonna apply it and apply my product and finger comb it. And then if necessary, also comb it with the regular comb. And yeah, so let's get this party started. And yes, I am still adding water as needed. And I kind of just gave up on my spray bottle at this point. I use the spray bottle as needed. I really just prefer the water from the fountain. So please do not judge my life, guys. So that was my curl activator. So now that I have my curl activator in my hair, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get some leave-in conditioner. And guys, this process is not, you don't need to be worried about looking cute during this process, all right? Because you won't look cute when your hair dries. So just think about that. Now my hair, the front of my hair always seems to stay a lot better saturated than the back of my hair. So the front of my hair, I don't normally need to add as much water to it as I do the back of my hair, which is amazing. I really like that. But I usually add water anyway, just not as much as the back. Let me go ahead, get my curl activator. And guys, if you feel like you put too much product, you could always just take some out. Like for me, I just felt like what I put in my hand was way too much for this piece that I'm gonna do. So I just took some out, and now I'm gonna go ahead and put it on through. I'm gonna put some conditioner. And now with the front, like you could also with the front, if you want more defined curls in the front, you could take little pieces and just, you know, separate your curls. If you have really tight curls like I do, you can just take your curls and just kind of separate it, and then go ahead and finger curl it and just throw it out. You don't have to, you know, like gently place it down. Just finger curl it like that, and it'll give, wherever you did that at, it'll give that part some just more defined curls. It'll be separated, so it'll be bigger and bouncier. I don't always do it just because, honestly speaking, sometimes I get lazy and it is time consuming when you finger curl your hair, guys. It can be very time consuming, so I don't do it a whole lot, but I do it sometimes because it's cute or whatever. So I think I'm starting to kind of want a little bit of a side part. So So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave this part for last, and I'm gonna show you guys how I finger curl it and what it looks like when I finger curl it. So I can go ahead and I'll just work on this part. So now that all of that is nice and done, what I'm gonna do to this piece is literally apply my product the same exact way that I have been applying my product. The only difference is I'm just gonna separate it a little bit and finger curl it just so you guys can see what I mean by when I say it is gonna be separated. So I'm just applying my curl activator right now. And now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm putting in my leave-in. But instead of just letting it just go back into with the rest of my hair, I'm gonna just take little pieces and literally finger curl it. And you could even go smaller than this. Now the best way to do it is you can kind of see where your hair parts at, and you can just go along with that and then finger curl it. So now once I do that, once I'm done putting product throughout my hair and all that good stuff, I go through and I start scrunching it up just to make sure that my curls are gonna be as nice and tight as I want it and as I like it. And if you can kind of see, so I clearly didn't do any finger curls on this side. So right now my hair is just kind of starting to form together and get nice and tight, where right here, this is where I finger curled it. So my curls are a lot more separated and a lot more bouncier. So once it dries, you're definitely gonna be able to tell the difference. Cause it's kind of like a little, saw part and all that. And I ran my fingers through and I kind of frizzed it out a little bit. So I'm just gonna go back in and I'm just gonna redo it. Just because I don't like how that looked a little frizzy right there. Wasn't really, my liking. I'm gonna go ahead and scrunch it up. And you always wanna make sure that you evenly scrunch it. So I always throw my hair upside down and I scrunch from upside down like this. And then I throw it to one side. And scrunch. And I throw it aside and I scrunch. And that's about it, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna let my hair dry out, get nice and back to normal, and I'll be back to finish off this video for you guys once my hair is all dry so you can see the final touches.
6.5 hours later.
What's going on, guys? So I'm back and I wanted to show you guys what my hair looks like when it is dry. So it's kind of, I would say it's about 95% dry. There are definitely some areas that are still just a little bit wet, but for the most part, my hair is dry, and this is the outcome of the routine that I showed you guys earlier. So as you can see, it is big, it is bouncy, and it is beautiful. And I got this by doing the routine that I showed you guys earlier. So this is the back. You know. But yeah, so I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys comment, and I hope you guys subscribe down low and go ahead and join this curly family.